So Jude Law has given an exclusive interview to ET about his reaction to Johnny Depp's resignation from Fantastic Beasts. The show must go on. Following Johnny Depp's announcement that he's been asked to resign from the Fantastic Beasts franchise, former co-star Jude Law speaks to ET about Depp's departure and news that the role of Grindelwald would be recast. He's chosen his words here very carefully. This is a man that doesn't want to lose his job, but he's trying to give some sort of interesting response, but you can tell he's towing the line very carefully. He does not want to rub any of the executives or the studio up the wrong way with saying the wrong thing. It's an enormous film, and there are many, many layers to it. Is this like Shrek, like onions have many layers, it's complicated? I guess he's right, it is complicated. It's probably one of the biggest productions I've ever worked on, he told ET's Rachel Smith. And in a situation like this, you defer to the studio. That's all you can do, because you have to turn up and play your part. This makes Jude Law look very, very humble. He's been in a number of successful movies, and even a man of his stature feels very nervous about being too arrogant. He's like, you may be a big name, but when it comes to studios, you still have to be humble to get work. If you want to work, you have to be likable. You still have to have people skills. You still need to get on with people. It's not just about having a fan base that support you. It's about being liked and being approachable and towing the line, not being a troublemaker. I'm quite surprised how careful Jude Law is actually being in this interview. It was unusual for me because, in fact, on this particular role, Law continued, Johnny has actually only done 1 day's filming, I think, on his own. I'm quite puzzled by why he chose the word unusual. Is it because Johnny Depp wasn't given much time in the role before he was asked to resign? I mean, in that way it might be unusual, because normally an actor is dismissed or asked to leave a project, maybe for artistic reasons or because of differences between a director and an actor, or maybe because of performance, how performance was perceived, but normally they're given more time in the role. So in that way it could be unusual, because this situation is not that common, especially a high profile dismissal or resignation is not often that high profile. Warner Brothers confirmed Depp's exit last Friday, while ET learned that production, which is currently underway, would not be interrupted by the recasting process. The film is slated to open in 2022. So, I mean, this is quite harsh. It's kind of like the show must go on. Johnny Depp may have been a big cog in the wheel, but he was still a cog in the wheel, and the show will go on. We will recast, and production will go on as scheduled. Hollywood is a harsh place to work in. It really is. You think it's glamorous, but it's really harsh, and you could just be thrown out the door at any moment and just replaced. I think this is a reminder, and I think what Jude Law is trying to say is that everyone's expendable, and he does not want to be the next one out the door, so he's being very careful what he says. He says, it's the studio and the company that make the big decisions, and you have to go along with it, because we're just a member of the team. It's almost like you're in a hostage situation. You have to go along with the people with the power, otherwise the outcome will be messy. You will not like the outcome. He is just an employee. He's just a cog in the wheel. Even an actor of his achievement is still just a cog in the wheel. You can be replaced. You have to toe the line. You have to listen to the people upstairs, the executives, the studio, and if they don't like something, you just have to go along with it. If you read in between the lines, he's saying that he's not in a position to comment personally on what he really thinks, other than it's a strange decision to make, and it's not a common decision to see an actor being asked to resign before they've hardly even begun shooting a role. He has shot some scenes in previous movies of this franchise, but we haven't really seen him perform on his own, having his own screen time, and seeing how that's received. So it is really unusual. I think Jude Law is just playing it smart, staying out of the politics. He's saying he's not in a position to comment. There's nothing he can do about it. There's nothing that Johnny Depp can really do about it. He could kick up a fuss about leaving, but that just makes him look bad and the studio look bad. So for him being paid and resigning, and him still getting his 10 million, is probably best for both of them. He's got other friends in Hollywood. Tim Burton's, I think, looking to perhaps do projects with him in the future, and he's in talks, or there are rumours that he's in talks with other people to do roles. So the best thing is just to move forward and look for other work. But I mean, there are a lot of Johnny Depp fans that want him back in the role as Grindelwald, who want him back in Pirates of the Caribbean, but studios have a habit of not listening to fans about what they want and making their own decisions. And a lot of the time, when studios don't listen to fans, it's had dire consequences. Particularly for comic book movies, in terms of artistic design of how heroes look, they haven't listened to fans, and it's shown in the box office. So this is a studio that's not going to listen to fans. They're going to do what they want to do, and the people on board, if they want to stay on board, they have to toe the line, and they have to conform. They have to go with what the studio says. So what do you think of Jude Law's comments? Do you think he was too shy about the situation? Do you think he should have been more outspoken? Or do you think he's being sensible, staying out of Hollywood politics and just sticking to acting? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, why not subscribe and ring that notification bell and like the video if you did. I'll see you in the next video.